picket lines. Workers from Evergreen schools face legal trouble from the school board. Plus,
I'm like, wow, you really have lamb, bed, couch, and everything.
a shocking discovery after a stranger breaks in, then moves in to a condo's crawl space. And later.
Oh my gosh. Easy.
Deputies wrangle up a wild boar after it tears up a family's home. Good evening, I'm Catherine Cook in for David. And we start with more uncertainty for families in Evergreen Public Schools as another day of negotiations falls through. This as the district threatens legal action against striking union workers if they don't reach a deal soon. Alma McCarty joins us in the newsroom with how long they have. Alma.
Well, Catherine, the school board called taking legal action a last resort, but they voted unanimously to support the move. However, they say if striking classified workers agree to a deal soon, it won't come to that.
Make some noise, union student body!
Friday night in Vancouver.
It's super frustrating, and it just builds up a lot of anxiety of not knowing when.
A strike delayed the school year from starting. But it didn't keep crowds from Mackenzie Stadium.
I was really hopeful when they gave us 4 days the first week and said we'll start on the 2nd of September. So I was really hopeful that that would happen, and then it didn't.
Parents tell us they understand the union side and why classified workers in the district are striking. But they're eager to see students back in the classroom.
We not very happy, but we kind of understand what they're looking for.
The personnel that's striking, I feel like they need to get better pay. I do believe in that. But I also feel like it's just hard that it affects so many people when there is a strike.
Hoping to address that, the board of directors passed a resolution Friday afternoon, authorizing the district to file an injunction, asking the court to compel the union to end its strike. A strike they say is illegal under Washington state law.
I am very sorry that this is, that we're to this point, taking this as a last resort action, and I'm hoping that good faith will prevail.
We care deeply about our community, our staff, our students, our families. We are sorry about the disruption that this is causing everyone.
The union says the threat of legal action would not deter them, that members would remain united on strike for a strong contract. Mindy Trofer-Cooper is the Evergreen PSE chapter president.
We had hoped that they would see the 87% no vote yesterday, and maybe finally take us seriously, that the members have spoken and that they're looking for some respect and some safe working conditions and a livable wage and protections for not only our employees, but the students as well.
The district's latest proposal includes a 12.5% pay increase for paraeducators over 3 years. That falls short of what the union is asking for. Bargaining teams will return to the table tomorrow. Catherine?
Let's hope they find a resolution soon. Thanks, Alma. Now to new comments made by President Trump saying he'll look into sending National Guard troops to Portland. The president made the statements during a press conference this afternoon saying radical left groups are destroying the city. He didn't specify what he was referring to, but it was likely the continued protests in front of Portland's ICE facility.
These are paid agitators, and they're very dangerous for our country. And when we go there, if we go to Portland, we're going to wipe them out. They're going to be gone, and they're going to be gone fast. They won't even stand the fight. They will not stay there. They've ruined that city. I have people that used to live in Portland. They've left. Most of them have left. But what they've done to that place is it's like living in hell.
Now, the president said Portland wasn't on his list of places to send federal troops until he watched the news last night. Again, he didn't specify what report that was, but yesterday, Fox News focused on leaders in Democratic cities rejecting help from the president and recent activity in front of the ICE building.
Anti-ICE rioters were rolling out the guillotine outside an immigration detention facility in Portland. Apparently, this chaos has been going on for 80 consecutive nights. Residents say local police are refusing to intervene because the facility is tied to ICE.
And this nonsense is still going on. And it's not that the Portland police don't want to do anything. It is they are completely hamstrung by the new mayor, Keith Wilson.
And tonight, Mayor Keith Wilson responded saying, quote, "I have not asked for and do not need federal intervention. We are proud that Portland police have successfully protected freedom of expression while addressing occasional violence and property destruction." Other leaders have also weighed in, including Attorney General Dan Rayfield. He said, quote, "The president may have a lot of power, but he has to stay in his lane." Rayfield said if Trump doesn't do that, the state will take him to court. All right, let's take a look outside on this Friday night, and we had some cooler weather hitting our area today. Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino is here tracking showers and the chance of thunderstorms in your weather impact forecast. Matt.
Hey, Catherine. Yeah, it's turned into an interesting evening. We're looking south from Salem right now, 64 degrees there, but we look at Doppler radar. Yeah, we've got storms on the east side, but we have storms on the west side right now. We've got thunderstorms popping near Corvallis and then all up over the Coast Range and in Yamhill County near Yamhill and Carlton, moving north towards the hills there on the Washington County border. So don't be surprised if you hear some thunder, see a flash of lightning out there, get a brief heavy downpour and some gusty winds. These are popping up quickly, but they're also dying down quite quickly as well. But they are getting relatively close to Portland, and they're over and west of the valley. Could happen at the coast as well. Starting to see a little activity there just to the south of Tillamook. So again, a really interesting night with these thunderstorms that are popping in the evening hours. It's not often that we get what we call diurnal thunderstorms, thunderstorms that happen at night or overnight, but it happens occasionally, and that's what's happening right now. You can see these lightning strikes between Carlton and Gaston right now and just to the south of Hag Lake. So yeah, it's an active evening. Scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight. Evening showers and maybe thunderstorms again tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, but the heavier rain will come Monday. But after that, we get some really delightful weather. It's going to be like living in heaven here in Portland.
Thanks, Matt. All right, to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, the former Alaska Airlines pilot who tried to shut down a plane's engine mid-flight pleaded guilty today in federal court. Joseph Emerson took responsibility for his actions and apologized to victims as he faced state and federal charges. Emerson pleaded guilty to a single count of interfering with flight crew members and attendants. He told police he hadn't slept in over 40 hours and had taken psychedelic mushrooms.
I still made the decision to take psilocybin, and that led to my inability to determine that I was operating in reality for an extended period of time. That doesn't make this right. What happened was wrong and should not have happened.
Now, this comes after Emerson pleaded no contest for state charges, which a judge sentenced him to 50 days in jail for, with credit for time served. Emerson will be sentenced in federal court November 17th. To Marion County now, where a teen suspected in a deadly park shooting has been sentenced. Nathaniel McCrae Jr. admitted to the March 2024 murder of 16-year-old Josue Vasquez Valenzuela. McCrae was also 16 at the time. The shooting happened at Bush Park during a confrontation between two groups of young adults. 2 other people were hurt. McCrae was sentenced to the Oregon Youth Authority until he's 25 plus 5 years in prison. And what started as one of the largest heroin busts ever reported in Oregon has taken a twist. A new test shows barrels seized by federal agents last year were not full of drugs at all. Nearly all of it was water. This happened at a Motel 6 in Tigard back in January 2024. At the time, police arrested 4 men. One of them is facing deportation to Mexico. We reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Portland. They told us they can't comment on pending litigation. To Clackamas County now, where sheriff's deputies say a man was illegally living in the crawl space of a condo. These are photos from inside that crawl space. That's where deputies say 40-year-old Benjamin Bucor was living. He'd set up a bed, TVs, and electronics, all using the condo's power. Police also found a meth pipe in the crawl space. Ketsi Ludwig lives next door. She says it appears the man may have tried to break into their crawl space first, noting the door jamb was damaged. She says it's scary, especially because they have kids.
I leave my sister and my son, my 2-year-old son, at home all the time because I go to work and my husband works. That's the reason I'm really, yeah.
Bucor is behind bars now, charged with first-degree burglary and unlawful possession of methamphetamine. Bail is set at $75,000. An Oregon state representative is switching political parties. Cyrus Javity of House District 32 in Tillamook is now a Democrat. He says he's been thinking about that move for the last 3 or 4 months. You might remember last week, Javity was the sole Republican to vote yes on the state's transportation funding package. By switching parties, Javity says he's not leaving his principles, just aligning with people who share them. He says his focus is on partisan solutions, not obstruction. Javity says he's gotten some pushback from his now former Republican caucus, but also some understanding.
They know that, it's my character, my values that matter. It's not really where I sit in the room or which side of the aisle I'm on. And so they understood where I was coming from. This wasn't about trashing one team over the other. This was just a values realignment.
The Democratic Party of Oregon welcomed Representative Javity, saying they're glad to work with him on issues that matter most to Oregonians and look forward to supporting him for re-election next year.